Meeting to order of the Decatur Township Board. Pastor Tim Lindsay, will you lead us in invocation, please?
Right before I pray, in light of the fallen officer Brian Elliott, maybe we could observe a moment of silence and remember his life and service given to his community there. Please grow. Father, this is an appropriate time to thank you for our first responders. And first, I am going to mention, Lord, the Beech Grove Police Department. I thank you, Lord, for being a strength to them. I ask you to be especially helpful, Lord, to the family of the officer, Elliott, and then this other officer that's still in the hospital. Lord, to help that community to heal. Lord, that makes me remember the Decatur Township, Lord, and our leadership and all the firemen, firewomen. Lord, the personnel that work so hard and are willing to do this work that oftentimes goes without gratitude and without thanks. So help them, Lord, protect them, watch over them even today. Watch each and every shift and each and every person, Lord. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for the privilege it is for our public servants to serve the community. So I pray, Lord, you go before us, and Lord, the work that we've done, we honor and please you with it. Praise in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Okay, the agenda has been distributed to all members. Are there any corrections? Okay, the agenda is adopted as presented. The meeting minutes from the last meeting were sent via email for everyone's review. Are there any corrections to note? Okay, the meeting minutes as just, sorry.
No, all good, sorry.
Meeting minutes as distributed are adopted. Do we have any Decatur Township taxpayer comments?
There was one signed in.
Okay. All right, first item for business is resolution 2026-01, establishing inspection fees.
Yeah. Just before the meeting, you were distributed a very rough draft of that. That's actually what we submitted to the attorney for final review, get the I's dotted, T's crossed type thing. We've not got that back from him, so ultimately I'll ask you to table this for tonight, but I have asked, and he's here tonight, our division chief of our code enforcement and inspections, to kind of explain why he brought this matter to me, why we now have it on the agenda. So if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to Chief Hudson, please.
So what this is I want to, we went through with the attorney for the state fire marshal's office and getting this started with them. The purpose of this is a sanction, not a fee. I want everybody to know what this is for. We have businesses in Decatur Township.
It's a what? Sorry.
A sanction.
A sanction?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
What is clearly, it's an incentive for them to fix their violations.
So
sort of how this would work is, if I come and cite your business, I give you 30 days to get your issues taken care of. If you work with the township, and most people do, then we could add on additional time. Okay, that's usually not a problem. But the problem we're coming into now is we have businesses coming in who are either foreign entities coming into the township or people from other states who's not familiar with our laws. They have plenty of time to do that. We've been inspecting businesses for that even up to 9 times a year.
That's same business?
The same business,
Yeah.
yes.
And they're out of compliance every time you go?
Every time.
Right.
Some of these businesses, like for example, an apartment complex in Mars Hill, they have several buildings, up to 21 buildings. Each of them had a violation. That's the time that we have to go out there and go to each one of those buildings and see if they corrected the violations. They have no incentive to fix it. The only incentive they had to fix it is, I'm going to call the state fire marshal's office, and they're going to come and do an inspection with us. it just so happens this last year we did an inspection with one of the apartment complexes. I said, you know what, on the initial inspection, I'm gonna call the state fire marshal's office. He went with us. He immediately told him, if you don't get this fixed the next time we come here in 30 days, you're gonna pay $200 per violation per day. Ironically, the thing was fixed in 15 days. Okay?
Right.
We can do the same thing the fire marshal's office does. The incentive or the stipulations would be for our businesses, however. I can tell you what the fee is going to be after 30 days. I'm not wanting to cripple a business. We'll work with anybody. But I'm wanting us to open an account up and not collect any money.
Right.
Period. That's what we want. This is the incentive to do it. This is leverage for a business and for the fire department to give incentive to the person that start taking it serious. So we don't ever want to charge a business. You already pay taxes. We don't need to charge you to come out and do your inspection. Our inspections are not in I don't come out and bully, okay? I come out and work with the businesses, all of my businesses, and getting their violations. And we go to the point where we tell them how to fix it, where to get the things they need to get things fixed. We never go with the mentality that we're going to come and shut you down. That's not in this jurisdiction. That's not going to happen. But however, some people are taking advantage of us, and some people are just don't get it. And now we have to use this tactic to get it done. One of the hotels we have has got the same issue. We've already been there 800 times since they opened the door.
Wow.
This is an incentive to get that taken care of.
Right.
So just to let you know, when you read this from this time to the next time we meet, we vote on it. This exactly what it is a sanction. We're not going to charge anybody any fees unless you're the city of Indianapolis to come out and do an inspection.
So not for the initial inspection. It's just to encourage you to comply.
You know what? Not even for and I'm going to go off and say this, unless there's a life safety issue and they're just not getting it. And I'm not even charged a second inspection. It's the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's when we start handing down on them because enough's enough. We have. It's not fair to our taxpayers out here who pay for my salary and the fuel in the truck and the maintenance of the vehicles to go out here 9 times in a month to do an inspection because they don't want to.
I agree.
It offsets the public cost of you having to continue to go there.
Exactly.
Somewhat.
You look at the safety of your firefighters too.
Well, and the other thing Lauren's pointed out to me is, sometimes it's like a $15 fix.
No.
And they just won't do
They
it.
won't do it.
So maybe you tell them it's a $75 trip charge.
Makes
Well,
sense.
So why do we want to table this?
because I don't have the final draft back from the attorney.
Oh,
Yeah. Not against Lauren. He drafted this based upon the guidance from the state's attorney, and we appreciate that. But obviously something like this and this important, we want it to hold muster, or if it
Yeah.
doesn't, I can go back to our attorney and say, hey. So we've sent the draft to him with a couple of things, first of the year stuff, and he's working with, other townships and fire entities. We just didn't get it back in time to take action tonight. So, not to cut you off, but so I would just ask, the ultimate action is we just consent to table it at this
that's
case. But
perfectly fine. But I
Yeah.
think
And you think those amounts, you think that 75 and 150, you think that will be enough, no pun intended, but fire under somebody to get it fixed?
It goes up.
it goes
So-
up. But
Each time.
It's an escalating fee, whatever we determine that to be, and that's something that we're going to have to make a decision on. If you want it before the March meeting, we can definitely come down with it. But it's an escalating fee. I don't want to say, well, the fee's $300,
Yeah.
and then it's $300, then it's $300. I want to give them the incentive to get it.
Yeah, I just see in here it talks about 75. So first inspection 0, initial inspection. Let me state that initial inspection 0. First re-inspection after non-compliance $75 if violations remain uncorrected, and then second and each subsequent 150. I'm okay with that, but if you think that's enough incentive, I don't know if that would do it, or if people would continue to thumb their nose.
I would hope not.
Yeah, I would hope not
They're-
too.
They're paying for deficiencies on
I think
escalating
this could be
fee. I
a
don't
useful
think they want to
tool.
do that.
Yeah. And then
So-
you said something about how the state fire marshal can charge whatever amount it is, and they can do it per day. So do we want to put something in there as well so that you don't have to keep going out there and that you can just say, hey, you have to come to us and say that you fixed it. You call us when it's fixed. You'll come out and say, look at it and say, yeah, it's fixed. Otherwise, I feel like you're going to have
I
to.
want to go ahead and say
go
that.
out there all the time. Okay, that works.
And that date will be on paper on
Okay.
our inspection. form.
Yep.
And that's the day that I'll come out and do the inspection.
Okay, all right, and then
And
charge
that's
them.
the day that the charges start.
And then, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, if you run into, keeping those fees like you have, so it doesn't muddy the waters, like you said, on a normal basis, it seems like that might get people to the initiative to do it. But if you know that it's a case where you're having an issue, can you do like what you did before, and you can call the state in with you?
Yeah.
And
And that depends on the severity of the violation.
yeah, if
If
it's something
there's a
major.
life safety issue that warrants me to shut your business down, I won't hesitate.
So that was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
At
so
what
say-
point on these?
So say that $150, they still are just kind of, blowing you off on it. You know that, and your the third time out, you bring the state along with you.
I don't want to take that route. That's not a good route to take because for one, we want to work with our businesses.
Sure.
We want to keep that partnered attitude with our businesses. We try our damnedest, so to speak, to do that.
I agree with
maintain
you.
that.
I just, at that point.
But we have to. We have two businesses. One who is currently on fire watch and has been for over 2 months now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're paying upwards towards $90 an hour for fire watch.
Really?
Yes. Had they did what they were supposed to do, they would never have to pay that. So there's an incentive there for them to get fixed.
Yeah.
It's an incentive for them to start taking things serious when it comes
Sure.
to life safety and fire prevention.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you're recouping, whatever costs and hey,
Well,
crank it up if that's what they do. Again, if they're thumbing their nose at you,
I think that
And-
skill's good for recouping, but to be honest with you, I don't want to recoup anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want it for our businesses. They shouldn't have to do that. But it's not fair to the taxpayer to
sure.
pay for that burden.
Yep.
So
And it's
on my end,
endangering
too.
other people.
On my end as a fire chief, when Chief Hudson and I started talking about this months ago, what we're trying to do is get in line with all the other agencies around the state that are doing this.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of money grubbing or grabbing.
No,
per se.
sure.
It's a matter of fire and life safety. And I can't stress enough from Chief Hudson and I's point is we want to work with the business. We don't want to shoot the consumer down. We don't want to shoot the business down. We want people to come to Decatur Township. But we also want to make it safer. Unfortunately, as the economy grows and things change, people's philosophies change, businesses change, we want to make sure that we keep them updated. So I just want everybody to know that from my end, Chief Hudson has my full-blown 110% support of everything he's doing with this initiative.
I think the consensus here is the
Yeah, I think it
board.
is
I think
too.
the
Yeah,
board,
for sure.
we're along
We
with it. So,
appreciate that.
We'll just get that final version and
yeah,
I think we'll
I
be
think
good
it's just
there.
all down to the legal, making sure the legal drive is all right.
It's been my understanding that this is typical in other departments, right?
well, it is, but
Something.
they charge fees and they can't. If they're under city ordinance, they can do what they want. We're not. We're in the township. We're paid. That's the other problem. If we were all volunteer, we could charge a fee.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
But we're a paid department. We're not under the city
Yeah.
ordinances when it comes to fire prevention.
Right. So that's why it has
We
to be.
tried, we can't get
I
it.
get it. I think I get it now, Chief.
And that's fine, but
Perfect.
with the state plan here, this is fine. It's made for this. And we have all rights to,
And Chief, it's just you doing the inspections, correct?
no, it's Adam Shaver.
Oh, okay.
Adam Shaver.
Great.
So do you need a motion to
But-
table this
But
then?
to that
believe so.
effect,
This
every
is on the
business
agenda.
gets inspected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let alone the go backs.
I've seen.
We're
Chief.
averaging anywhere
I've
from
seen-
17 to 2,000 inspections a year.
Wow.
And we keep growing.
Chief usually comes out and rides a horse too when he comes out there.
I gotta run this dump truck and backhoe to make sure it's safe.
Right.
Try it.
We usually have a halter on it when we leave.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we table resolution 26-01 establishing inspection fees. Not because we don't support it, but just that in a final version.
I'll
Second.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, so we'll table it, come back to it next meeting. Great.
Thank you, Chief, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get it taken care of for you.
All right, so. All right, next item on the agenda, approval of the uniform conflict of interest disclosure statements for the following township employees. Richard Landis.
So, yeah, before I get into that, Mr. Chair, I'd like to take a little prerogative and maybe this is a little more on the announcements portion of the agenda, but I want to give an update on some things because I think we reached a substantial point on the building things.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And the chiefs are here and others that have been involved in the process. So they can certainly add on as we go, but we've gone through a lengthy exercise. As I describe it, we've met with the designer folks, the architect folks. We've laid on the table what our needs are, what our really wants are, what our wants are, what our kind of wants are, is what would be really nice to haves are, and that type of thing. They put that in paper, brought it back to us, a couple things with it. Obviously, cost was a big one. We've challenged them to go back and make some cuts with that. We're going kind of back up that list I just mentioned. The footprint quite a bit bigger than we thought as well. So they've gone through that. They've reduced it by several thousand square feet, knocked off a couple, $3 million worth of cost, and we're still in the process of going through that exercise as well. We have presented the footprint to the school system. As you recall, the school system offered us the opportunity to take some land that they own around us, the horseshoe basically. So we've presented to them a couple of options where we would be on the south end of the property or we would be on the north end of the property. They have divulged that at least on their wish list at this point, correct me if you think I'm misstating that, they will at some point in time want to rebuild or build a new administration office up here as well.
Where we are right now.
Well, again, on one of the other options, the north or the south. So we've left that with them. They're evaluating. We're going to meet with them here in a few weeks and hopefully get a better, more solid indication, and then get back into the nuts and bolts of the design and kind of getting. If I didn't mention what I describe as we're now in the eraser phase of that design. So again, we're kind of now erasing, some sizes, some cost, and that type of thing. In addition to that, the bond council has reached out to us that we've hired. They need to get rolling on the financing things, the preliminary work with that. One of the things that I've done is they had me do is establish a building corporation. And they're scheduled in on your 17th meeting of March and to get into more details and explain some of those to you. So I'm moving some of that to them because frankly, they know better than me. But we've established the building corporation, which will in essence own the building, own the property through its completion, and then at some point transfer back to the town.
Right.
The building corporation, I tried to get a good mix of people in the township with their involvement. Frankly, a political mix of people with their involvement in the township and that type of thing. I've appointed a gentleman named Ken Allman. Ken is a lifelong resident of the township, 1950 something grad of the township.
So the corporation will be a board?
Yes, it's
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
3-person board. Ken actually served on the school board himself in the mid 80s. Longtime acquaintance of the family and that type of thing. So as I graduated in 84, when he was on the school board, so I say if there's problems with me, you can blame him. So Ken's on there. Ken retired from business, so he brings that acumen to us. Pat Andrews, I've appointed her, Democrat representative that way as well. Obviously sat on our community committee when we began this process, quite involved with the civic council and its land use committee. And frankly, we'll also have to go through zoning with the civic council. So I hope that will help us as well. The third appointment is Sam Hollifield, who happens to be also your appointment to the Merit Commission. So she brings in, I think, a representation of you that way. representation a little bit of the fire department, at least with regard to her position on the merit commission. Sam has worked in state government, particularly at the legislative level. And both Ken and Pat, Sam are Republicans, so again, I think we bring that political balance to it. But I just wanted to update you on that. We have some meetings scheduled. The building committee, the building corporation will meet first on March 4th. And again, the bond council folks will be here and work them through all that as far as the incorporation stuff, setting the bylaws and that type of thing, and then getting all that stuff out with the state. They will have you will have a regular meeting scheduled on March 17th, which among other things will serve as one of the first hearings regarding the building and the petition process. The process takes 2 public hearings with the township board, the legislative body. So the first one will be the 17th, in addition to our regular scheduled board meeting agenda. March 24th will be a second hearing for that. That'll also be the second meeting for the building corporation. So.
Are we voting on the appropriation then?
I
After those 2 public
We
hearings?
will vote on a resolution, and I think I haven't got all the documents, and I don't have really a clear understanding on that, to be truthful with you. So the first meeting is, again, it'll be educational for me to have the bond council come out and explain a lot of that. Right now, I'll be honest with you, it's just they've given us a list of to-dos, and we're working at getting them done. I'll be honest with you.
Is the building corporation board meetings open to the public?
Yes. Okay. It will be noticed in accordance with the guidelines of the public notice requirements. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
So, all right. If I may then, on the next item on the agenda, if you recall a month ago, and we did late last year, we have employees that do some work for the township. We have to get a conflict of interest established. Right. This one slipped through my cracks, and long story short, Mr. Landis hired on and as a paramedic late last year, but he also is affiliated, and I can let the chiefs explain a little more detail about his involvement with as a contractor for the township. So that brings the need to get a conflict of interest disclosure statement approved by you folks for him.
So Mr. Landis is a paramedic on C shift. Prior to coming here, he worked for Wishart EMS in the early to mid 90s, moved to Florida, opened a business where he sold EMS supplies. Decatur Township had purchased EMS supplies through the CPR route. So CPR supplies, community risk reduction, things like that was purchased. Portions of things were purchased through his company. So when he hired on, one of the things that I explained to him was we will need a conflict of interest form just to keep on the up and up in a positive way to make sure that there's no improprieties going anywhere. It was later discovered that while he does own the company, when he deals with departments that he's involved with, whether it's verbal, communicable, working for, his wife steps in to do that role. However, since his name is on the company, he works for us. I requested him do this to make sure that we follow everything that we need to from a legal perspective. So that way it keeps everybody, including the township, clear and free of anything. He also has a signed agreement that states that he understands that he cannot and will not influence any business decisions when we purchase anything. That's my request as well. He understands that. He understands that this is an approval process. And I will tell you honestly, the amount of work that we do with that company is maybe 10%, if that, when it comes to needing CPR products. And a lot of ACLS things comes from him as well. But again, 10% of purchases out of, this year's budget, $165,000 is really null. However, I want to stay on top to make sure it's valid and ethical.
Right. It says here he provides EMS training to the township, but he also sells products to the township.
Yeah, so he sells the products, but as a training person through the fire department, he also teaches. So all the paramedics and EMTs who are in the what we call the shift training officer program, which he's a part of, can train and things like that. However, he cannot, again, influence anything that he sells or purchases on us Basically, if we were purchasing anything through him, we would have to go through a process just like any other vendor. So,
Right.
All the CPR instructors are through his company.
Yeah. So I guess all of our CPR instructors are through Landis, but again, that's one purchase
Right.
a year
Right.
for him.
Any questions? All right. Take a motion to approve the conflict of interest disclosure statement for Richard Landis.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. It's approved.
You don't want us to do anything in the signature page like we did on the previous ones.
Oh, just us. Okay.
Again, they don't give enough lines for five to sign, so I'm trying to be creative.
Good. All right. Next item on the agenda. In accordance with IC 36669 meeting, consideration and approval of annual report of executive disposition of funds. Section 9A, the legislative body shall meet on or before the third Tuesday after the first Monday in February of each year. At this meeting, it shall consider and approve in whole or in part the annual report of the executive presented under IC 366412. Is that your report?
That's the report.
You going to present it?
Wait,
Or is it presented?
present it, consider it presented, please.
It's presented.
I mean, you know, and again, it's one of those things, it's so much so bulky. In fact, they actually, thank God, the state cut down some of the things with it this year. I hope they continue that to be the case, but it's a synopsis of the revenues brought in, the spending put in, to where they were spent, you know, to employees, to vendors, to, you know, like we just talked about, the Landis folks and that type of thing. In it, you will see the township assistance report as well. We were up, I can tell you in that regard, about 50 cases from 24 to 25 in township assistance requests. Be glad to address any inquiries that you have.
It's just an overview question. I hadn't had time to see this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we stay within budget? Are we under budget from what we budgeted as far as expenditures go?
Yeah, we ended the year not spending as much as was budgeted for 25.
What was the delta? What did we have?
I'll be honest, I didn't run the numbers yet. Just trying to.
I was just curious about a couple of the line items here. Like a page 13 for township assistance, it mentions $1,134 for 3553 Alpine Studios. Sorry, page 13.
Yeah. That's an apartment complex.
Is it?
Oh, behind the
That's-
culvers.
Yeah,
And
behind
actually, yeah,
Culver.
that's where that is. So that's collective for the year what we spent on rent. So
Okay. All right.
200 for this applicant that month, 300 for that applicant the next month, etc.
And then,
Yeah.
Flying out.
Yeah.
and page 19, supplies 1625 TKO graphics, $5,000.
That was for the engine purchase. That was approved to get the engine
Decal.
restripe, decal, things like that. And that was actually the cheapest bid that we found, so that's what that was for, engine 75.
I thought that's what it probably was.
Yeah.
We created a couple of funds last year, a donation fund and maybe two donation funds. What do we create? Are those recognized in this report?
We did create donation funds. We created a general a restricted and an unrestricted fund for general, for township assistance,
Yep.
and for fire.
That's right. Okay.
So, no, nothing's identified here because the restricted ones are strictly reportable to the donor.
Okay.
And that was explained when we did it, and
Yep.
we have not had any. Well, we had the one,
The one for the award ceremony. I think that's what they use.
Yeah, and as you recall, you folks took the action to allow us to spend that on the banquet.
Yep.
So you wouldn't necessarily see the fund information, however, and these guys can probably tell you a little bit better about how that was spent then on the banquet to what vendors, if you want to get that.
Yeah.
I have that in a spreadsheet on my computer.
Yeah. No, I didn't know if that was reported on here or not. So.
What's Protein Wellness? Curious about that.
It's our health company that we send for our mental health checkups every year.
Gotcha.
Some people more than one.
You told them good.
Hey, they let me come back to work after mine.
That's a part, that is a part, the mental health thing is a part of the annual physical. Each year.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Those are
physical
pretty hefty.
and mental, but I do
Gotcha.
believe they offer additional services that we can send
Yeah,
employees
they
if
have,
they want to
they have
capitalize.
mental health and, what's it called? Kinesiology or whatever. Kinesiology. Basically, they can work on you too. So, for instance, we've had people with back problems. I had a sciatic issue that was off duty. I was able to go to Protein and they dry needled me. I pay for that, obviously, but those are examples of what they offer. But mostly for what we do is the mental health aspect. Again, going back to the cheapest route, fiscally responsible. They were well known and they've done us really well for the last year.
The nice thing about Protein is that they specialize with first responders, so they have people who actually know what we do and understand.
Gotcha.
That's good.
It's actually been really good. We've had a lot of positive feedback from people that look for me to go. They're like,
Yep. Probably gone over this before. Remind me, what is the money for MSD Decatur Township?
Well, mainly probably if it's several $1,000s, it's fuel.
That's right.
Is it 20,000 or 30,000?
No, it's like 150,000.
Oh, yeah. There's months that are higher than others,
But we get their gas from them.
correct.
Right.
And the bills are sent in 2 months at a time. So if you see a large hefty figure, it's 2 months combined.
Gotcha.
And that's for all apparatus and staff vehicles across the fire department, including support vehicles, which are just normal vehicles. So, again, with fuel costs last year, that kind of explains.
Is that over at their bus depot?
And you're going to find that in line item 30A and 30B, which is the 2 category line items for fuel.
That's both diesel and regular.
Oh, okay.
And again, they sell to us at cost. And they
I love that idea. They're
wholesale.
right buying 1 billion gallons a year in gas for all their buses. Let's take advantage of that. I like it. Good work there.
About Lathery Developments, $65,000.
Lathery, then again, if you recall, that was one of the conflict of interest I brought for you last
Right.
year. Lathery is a member of the fire department captain, but he also has a side business. And if you recall, he, of the quotations, were the better one for the roofs at the court
That's right.
and the and Station 74.
All right. So we need a motion to approve.
I'm gonna look at every single one of
You're
these.
doing fine. I'm not rushing you. I'm not rushing you. There is a Purdue basketball game on here. It's already started. I'm just saying. Not that anybody else cares.
Trustee Holiday.
Well, I think the gal last night told you about.
Yeah, she did.
I looked back.
She did. I was
I
like,
looked back at you. I looked back at you and thought, oh, she put you in your. No,
Did you want to do the fire department report with that? Or
No.
another
All right, yeah.
no, that's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, let's get this done first. And you're next, I think, on the.
Oh, you're
agenda.
fine. I didn't want to miss it.
Guess I'm the only one looking at this here. Sorry.
all right, keep looking.
I was thinking.
I thought we were all doing this.
So,
I appreciate that, Chief.
And for just, I guess, I mean, I don't know if it's confidence stating or whatever to each all of you, but this is submitted to the state.
Right.
After you approve it tonight, I have to click some buttons and it goes to them. It's part of their audit process when they do auditing. So, you know, they come back and yell at us, me particularly, if there's concern.
All right, so we don't have to approve it. It's been just presented.
shall
No,
be considered
this-
improved, right?
So this, you have to accept and approve it in all or in part.
Oh, got you. Okay.
I'm presuming that it was in all.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to have you sign that page.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve in whole. Unless there's any questions, further consideration.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the report is approved in whole.
So you will have to sign there as the chair, and then everyone has to sign. And every other board in the state except for Marion has 3 members, so I had to add 2.
Gotcha. So I sign here.
Yeah. The other thing I'll note on there too, and I think if you saw the township assistance portion as well, I have to sign and attest to that specifically as well, so. And then, like, just to refresh your memory, again, I submit this to the state. I also have to submit a copy to the county auditor.
Right.
So if you call me tomorrow afternoon, that's where I'll be. God willing.
Gotcha.
And then we also have to notice it in the Star
Oh, yeah.
and the IBJ.
All right. Next item on the agenda, presentation of the DTFD 2025 annual report.
I apologize. I skipped a step. I didn't want to miss it, so I heard report, so I apologize. First of all, Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to have representatives of the fire department here. 2025 was a huge year for us in many ways. We had some challenges with obviously Chief Turner passing away and an off-duty injury or an off-duty death. We had some other things such as large purchase and things like that. But all in all, our department came together and did very well. We did really good things. Just real quick, I have one hard copy for the board, and then everybody's going to get an emailed copy. That's a copy of the year-end report. Just some statistics of note. Our department averaged 8,846 hours of training. That's fire and EMS hours. Our shoot times, remember last year we talked about shoot times, which is responding and out the door. 55 seconds for in district, 57 seconds for out district. 1,720 fire inspections, and that's kudos to the newly revamped Division of Code Enforcement and Prevention with Chief Hudson and Captain Shaver. We had 10 appointments and promotions, and appointments and promotions could be anything between a merit promotion of a merit firefighter, an EDO, another individual coming into the office as a chief officer or company officer, whatever it may be. We hired 9 EMS personnel, and we had 8,183 incidents. That's up from last year, so that's pretty average, but it's pretty good for us. Our department's obviously growing, our township's growing. We need all the assistance we can get. You guys are helping us with that. A couple other things within the report. When we talk about IEMS, we provided IEMS 2018 calls for service, meaning we provided either mutual aid or automatic aid to them 2018 times. They gave us 261. So we're currently, the trustee and I are currently looking at ways to buffer that a little bit and recoup some of those costs. With that, we had 35,646 miles, which is loaded miles, patient in the ambulance, transported to a hospital. That's what loaded mileage means. So take 35,000, almost 36,000. So we did a lot of transports. We had 1,128 non-transports, whether it's a checkout, refusal, so on and so forth. So out of all that, we had 6,000 transports. So that's pretty good data from the EMS branch as well, or the EMS division. Within the report, once you receive a copy of it, you'll see a grid here. I tried to put that in there for your reference so you can see the BLS, basic life support for ambulances, and ALS, advanced life support for the medics units. What you'll have there is each month categorized, and it'll be the actual incident count. So say, for instance, ambulance 71 in January had 4 BLS, whereas ALS aid given, they had 1. So this is aid given, which will break that down a little bit for the IEMS of each way, including Plainfield, the airport, things like that. So we do have a really good relationship with the Indianapolis Airport, Plainfield Fire Territory. I met with them, met with Plainfield about a month ago. We had some pretty good conversations about Heartland Crossing, some businesses that they're thinking about putting in Heartland Crossing, a new car wash that went up there not too long ago, some issues or non-issues. So things are going great. I couldn't be happier. The men and women of the Decatur Township Fire Department, we have officer development all this week. Today was the first day on A shift. Basically, the only negative thing that we fight, just like anybody else, is Senate Bill 1, right? But we collectively as a whole, with your support, with the Mayor Commission's support, Trustee Holiday's support, we're getting over that hump. So I'm prepared to make the changes that we need to make to put us into the next marketable range of Decatur Township. I want to bring people into the township. So selfishly, Taco Bell's brought a lot of people into the township. Chief Hudson has assured me that the first due map that we have on our devices will have my face on it for Taco Bell. So that's good. So that's
You can't get a truck in that small little
it's
drive.
tight, let me tell you. It is tight. Chief Moore and I, we tried it not too long ago, almost got stuck. Chief Morrell and I tried it it's crazy. But in all seriousness, we can't do this without you guys, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. I truly mean that. We've had a lot of community risk reduction, community involvement this past year come in. We're probably already 20 deep this year of people coming off the street needing assistance, whether it's looking at a fire truck, using the restroom, Band-Aid, blood pressure check, things like that. So we're happy to take those folks in. And I always have a caveat, and if you don't know, ask. So always do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have a question. I'll be more than happy to. We are in future contacts with IMPD to meet with their new police chief and their executive staff here soon for the next month or so. She's busy, obviously. Just a couple of things to note. IEMS lost an EMT. I reached out to IEMS and spoke with Dr. O'Donnell. We supported them any way we could. They didn't really need anything, but we still supported them. Today, I ordered all flags go at half staff for Officer Elliott of the Beach Grove Police Department with the approval of Trustee Holiday. Chief Key, thank you for taking care of that. She's a shift commander today. So as you can see, if something goes wrong in Marion County, we try to watch out for each other. And that's the honest to goodness truth. We try to watch out for each other. We do a pretty good job of that, and I'm thankful for them as well. So Chief Malone and I, Chief Malone got elected or re-elected to the Marion County Fire Chiefs as the president. I got elected as the vice president of Marion County Fire Chiefs, which is one of the first times that's ever happened for a township fire chief to be elected to that position. So we're moving in the right direction. We're doing good things. But again, I appreciate your guys' help for that. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'll be happy to take them.
What was our average run time? You said 57 seconds out the door.
Well, so that varies. So the shoot time, which is from the time you acknowledge the run to out the door.
I'm talking about arrival.
55 to 57 seconds. So once you get the report, I'll show you the page to reference. This page right here, once you get that, it'll have a pie chart with some green. So in district, 5 minutes to 7 minute average, which is well within NFPA standards. Outside of Decatur Township, we're still within NFPA standard, 7:41 to 16 minutes. And again, on the right-hand side, you'll see that we have to consider room to bay to apparatus to the scene, street road construction, weather staging for safety, train delay, which is Ameriplex's issue, Response to other areas, for instance, 73 is going 74, so they're cross counting it. EMS going to Beech Grove. Or
We talked about
Active
Lawrence
Grove,
one time on
Lawrence.
one, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah. Well, Engine 71 a couple weeks ago, that was probably the first part of January. Engine 71 from here was the first engine on a Pike Township extrication call.
wow.
On 465.
Yeah.
Because they were busy.
Yeah.
And that's how Marion County run strings operate. They pull us, and we're responding at a distance, right? So that's where that happens. So the other factors to take into consideration is speed and load of apparatus. The tanker obviously could take a while. There's no tanker that's fast, I will assure you. We've sent our tanker to Acton Road. We've sent it to, again, Beech Grove got us a couple times this past year with tanker runs and ambulance runs. So that's far east side.
Yeah.
So yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, you're looking anywhere between 5 minutes and 16 minutes total, depending on how you look at the averages.
I'd also like to make a comment about the IEMS runs. I mean, that just is always standing out to me, having been on the board for 5 years, and I totally understand mutual aid. What is your opinion on how lopsided that is?
Well, the unfortunate thing about Marion
Well,
County.
I think you see the number.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe
I
not
mean, that's
opinion.
pretty flippant,
So
but-
establish that the opinion is that there's something wrong here, and
Well,
what is the remedy?
I will tell you that Marion County, the way Marion County is set up for mutual aid, the unfortunate factor is if you're an ambulance in Marion County, you're subject to be pulled anywhere within Marion County. That's how the mutual aid agreements are written up, and that's how they've been for years. Now, Chief Moore, who's retired from Wayne Township, he's a logistics section chief, but he was a battalion chief on the A shift at Wayne. Chief Key's a battalion chief here. Chief Morell's been a battalion. They can all attest that they've had ambulance companies working under them where it might be in their district and they get called downtown to the circle. Am I wrong? So the unfortunate thing is in Marion County, that explains the mutual aid concept. Me as the fire chief, and I'll be honest with you, I've had discussions with Deputy Chief Chuck Ford of IEMS. I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. I can't support an ambulance in my township if I have to send them to Beech Grove. It's not that I don't want to, because I want the best for the patient and I want the best for the community. That's never going to be an option. The option becomes, how am I supposed to take care of my township if I'm pulled to other areas? And same for them.
Yeah, it seems
How
like
is Beech Grove EMS going to be serving Beech Grove if they have to come into Decatur Township?
we're just year after year a donor township to Marion County, and obviously you can't say we're not sending an ambulance.
No.
You can't do that under any circumstance. But it's just unfortunate in my mind to think that a Decatur Township resident close by could be having, an emergency, and the ambulance is halfway across town, because IEMS for some reason is not able to staff themselves.
Right. That's where we're good. And I think that's where we do a good job, is we do have good staff that staff the rigs, staff the ambulances. Again, the problem is not only do we have to go into areas within Marion County, we have Heartland Crossing, which is Plainfield. Okay, now 73s can explain that, but that's technically Hendricks County.
I've
We go
noticed
to
that
the
also
airport.
that we're a little lopsided with Plainfield, right? Down there.
Yeah, and that was another discussion that I had with their fire chief not too long ago. They will not give Heartland Crossing up politically. That is something with the county commissioners that they deal with. Unfortunately for us, again, mutual aid with Plainfield between the executive officials of the townships and counties, they have something worked out to where even though it's our back door, it's still their revenue stream. So that's where we're kind of hemmed up. And one of the things moving forward to try to recoup some of that money in response was the directive of Chief Hudson trying to recoup some of that with the levies or whatnot coming in from those inspections. Right. So that's what we're trying to be proactive in. We're also trying to be proactive in understanding that we don't want to waste taxpayers' dollars. But essentially, we kind of are. If we have to keep going out of district, we're spending a lot more money on fuel, a lot more money on maintenance. And out of the $165,000 supply budget this year for 2026, a lot of that can go fast just on maintenance issues of those.
Because it seems to me mutual aid is helping out a neighboring municipality in a bind, this is not that anymore.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, Decatur Township it's not the only ambulance service that's suffering.
Right.
You know, I don't keep bringing Beach Grove. Beach Grove is also its own independent entity outside of IEMS. It's the same scenario responding on the east side. Chief Key's husband, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Brownsburg does the same thing when I was out there.
Yeah.
They got 4 ambulances.
And Marion County's calling them in all the time.
And here's the thing, Chief Key's husband's a captain with IFD. At any given time, he might get an IEMS ambulance, Beach Grove ambulance, Decatur ambulance, Heartland ambulance. It's you never know, right? So unfortunately, that's where we are in Marion County. So we are trying to be proactive and try to find ways that we can stay within the township. The unfortunate thing is Marion County response protocols and mutual aid agreements kind of prohibit us from doing that.
And if I may, I think I'll say 2 things. One, the chief and I talked about this a few weeks ago, and he's volunteered to kind of investigate some things, maybe see, particularly with IMS, if there's some way we can at least recoup from them some at least costs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that type of thing.
Send them the bill.
Yeah, even
And I'll just be
Yeah.
blunt on
Right.
on streaming here. You know, one of the things I just found out recently is that if any entity but ours would to travel with an IMS ambulance to a hospital to aid, they don't provide transportation back. We have to go get them. That just pisses me off. I'll be blunt on TV, if you will. But the other thing, more so to answer, I think your question, Chair, is it's really a political will at the city county level to make IEMS, and maybe they'll come
Well,
back.
they don't
at me.
experience any pain.
Well,
There's no leverage. that
They
we have
don't
to
experience the
stop
pain.
it.
They don't experience any responsibility. You know, I go back to 2 years ago at this point when, you know, the Senate bill that we kind of successfully fought off. And I have the article in still in the desk drawer. I can dig it up and get it to you. But IMS was like Pavlov's dogs wanting that done because they could incorporate 2 things for them. In the article, the guy from IMS pointed out, you know, we'll get the township people working for us, and 2, we'll limit the competition for staff. So they don't have an incentive,
Right.
be it positive or negative, kind of like we were talking about earlier. So that goes back to my point. You know, we may need to start looking at pressuring the city county level folks to you know, make IMS a little more accountable. Maybe look at even a reorganization of the whole thing. I mean, I've had people that I consider subject matter experts that say one of their biggest problems is they're not operated by anyone with the emergency medical experience. They're operated by hospital management.
Health and hospital.
Health and hospital, yeah.
Right.
You know, their head is a doctor, not a fire chief, not a, you know, so that type of thing. So, but again, I think that's a political will more so that has to be dictated by, you know, and I'll just be blunt, frankly, the mayor who makes the majority of the appointments to the Health and Hospital Corporation Board.
Are we able to? I think we do. To charge patients for transport.
We do.
Okay. Charge their insurance or
And
whatever.
again, that's recouped through insurance.
Yeah.
We have a third-party vendor called MedBill that works with us to do that. So while they're not attorneys, I kind of call them my attorney
Yeah.
because they're the mediator
Yeah.
in between us. So if we get a subpoena, they are our official record.
Okay. Yeah.
So if the trustee or I gets a subpoena request,
Yeah.
we can send it off to Macy at MedBill, and her staff will diligently do what they need to do. So unfortunately, that's why EMS costs are going up, because we're trying to recoup losses that we're actually losing because we're not getting anything out of it from a standpoint of recouping those costs. Because, and I'll just be honest with you, people don't pay. But again, I don't wanna pressure the patient. I wanna make sure the patient's taken care of.
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the patient. I think the trustee said it best. It's up here.
Yeah.
Right. That to me, you have that upper executive management, then you have middle executive management, such as the fire chief, and then you have your administration personnel, operations personnel, and then that's where it comes down. And from the standpoint of IEMS was a derivative of Wishart, right? So a lot of the folks in those command positions might have come from Wishart. And with that, the city has changed so much, whether it's the city of Indianapolis, the townships that have evolved since then, the IFD merger. I think it's also taken out the fact of grandma being taken to the hospital versus you're just another number being taken to the hospital. We pride ourselves on taking grandma to the hospital, right? Because selfishly, if we were to go away, Decatur Township Fire Department was to go away, it's just a number. And I don't mean that negativity. I just mean that we're homegrown in our backyard. And we want to make sure, going back to what Chief Hudson was saying, we want to make sure that we keep that here. But in order to keep that here, we have to come up with a strategic plan to fight going out of district all the time.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, just looking at it from my perspective, it's not just a cost issue. In my mind, it's inefficient. Like, say someone in my neighborhood has a heart attack and the ambulance down the road at the station by Stephen Decatur is meant to serve them and be there in a certain amount of time. They're halfway across town. Now some other ambulance has to come in from.
Well, you're probably getting Medic 81 from Wayne that could have took this run over here, but due to this, but them being out, now they're crossing.
But this taxpayer is paying property tax for them to have an ambulance close by. So it just seems a bit, it's the cost, but it's just.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
It is
to local taxpayers.
Also, I mean, the same frustration that you feel is felt in Pike Township. I know with Chief Jeff being there, they're larger population, but then that also brings the fact that they have 5 medic trucks. So his frustration is that now he has more trucks to assist somebody else. So, but he said the necessary evil, if you want to call it that, of mutual aid is that even with 5 trucks, I can't serve the needs of the township residents 100% of the time. They do have to come assist us. He said, so it's very frustrating for them, and their board have the same conversations, is that where we set a large percentage of our runs could be taken up by IMS.
Are we at a point where we look at the scope of our responsibility as a municipality and the emergency service we need, and then we add extra because we know it's going to have to go to Marion County?
Well, I will tell you selfishly, sir, I will tell you that I will never turn down people. I will never turn down people. I will never turn down a firehouse. I'll never turn down a fire truck. However, that conversation has been had by another entity in Marion County that wants us to come on board, and that's the Indianapolis Airport. In order to do that, we would need to buy at least 1 additional ambulance with at least 9 people, 6 primary, 3 EMTs, 3 paramedics, 3 backfill spots, right, for Kelly days and things like that, solely for that. That's the vision, because that would cut down run. If we dedicated an ambulance to the airport, and again, I'm speaking down the line because that's a political thing that we'd have to get into with them, but selfishly, that's what I want, because you keep a truck at the airport, we would get the revenue, and there's a lot of revenue with the new hotel coming in, so it'd be a win-win for us. We would just need that money to purchase an ambulance.
It's a contractual agreement.
Absolutely. They would take care
discussed with the airport. That has not been done with Marion County. They're just taking ambulances, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that would allow us to be a stronghold at the airport to get the revenue from those folks in a positive way. But that would also be that we would have to work it. This is where we're talking. We would have to work it to where that ambulance stayed at the airport as opposed to being pulled off property to other areas in Marion County. So to answer your question, I feel, again, as fire chief, I'm being very, very stingy, and I'm being very, very wanting, such as Ted. But what I'm wanting is,
meeting's over.
I would always want more people. But also comes more ambulance, comes we're going to take you to Pike Township, Beach Grove, downtown, the circle at 3 a.m. for a nosebleed. I mean, the Wheeler mission. Those are all things that need help. Those are all places that need our assistance in EMS anyway, fire and EMS. But those are things to think about. How do we show them that we hold our own in our township? When you come into Decatur Township, you see online we're a predominant fire and EMS agency. We have so many people, but why are you never in service? Well, we're in service. We're just not here because we're getting pulled there.
Within our territory for the people that are paying for it.
Right. So, your mom was transported by IEMS. You know why? Because all three of our trucks were out.
Yeah.
And it's so
Frustrating.
crazy. It's so frustrating. When I went to your house, and I don't mean to throw it up for patient comfort, but when I went to your house, I didn't know Medic 81 had got there yet. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to take forever because they were leaving the hospital. They were there pretty timely, so that was good. But we could have been there a heck of a lot sooner had we been in our district. But a lot of that also has to do with geo zones, geofencing, things like that we're trying to get away from. That just takes time with the run strings. Those are things that we wish we could educate the public on because the public don't see that. What they see is, I've got a Decatur Township fire truck and Decatur Township ambulance. Why do I have a Pike Township ladder? Why do I have an IEMS ambulance? Well, a couple of different reasons. One could be maintenance. They're helping us, One could be they're out of service and they have to come into the area for mutual aid or automatic aid. Those are different things that we run into. It's kind of goes back to that whole, you get a state trooper, you get a county cop and a city cop on the scene. Who wants to be in charge?
I'll tell you what, if my house is on fire, I better see everybody there. I don't care what color the truck is.
And that's
park it in front of my house.
And here's the other thing. I'll close on this, and I don't want to go on soapbox, but I'll close on this to back what the trustee said. It's not the staff. It's not the staff of these fire departments. It's not even the fire chiefs of these agencies.
No, it's the political will.
It is above us. It's up here. And the unfortunate thing is, until we get this figured out, I can't figure this out.
Yeah,
but if you want to give me an ambulance and 9 more people so we can keep things in the township, think about it.
Well, let's call that one out too.
I'll be like, thanks. But here's the thing.
Thanks for the extra ambulance.
Decatur Township has evolved. Decatur Township's evolved. People are, I could say this selfishly. People like our service. They truly do.
I hear that.
They don't see us in service. They don't know what service they're getting.
Right.
Especially in the Marion County Health and Hospital tax or health and hospital payment. So, but anyway, we are actively looking at ways to combat that. We're looking at ways to recruit and retain. Recruitment and retention are 2 big things of mine that we're doing better at. You'll see in the yearly report when I get that sent to you. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We do have 6 individuals starting at the end of this month in a recruit class. So everybody passed their perf exams as of today, so they're official.
Yay.
Yep. So
how's Brian's smoke
diver
class?
He's got about 2 weeks and he'll go.
Oh, and that's when he goes.
He's prepped.
I'll send him an email.
He's prepped. Talked to him today, and he actually got invited by our local union, Local 416, him and Greg Maxwell, to travel to Texas, I believe, in August for a conference that you have to be invited to, and they were invited as representatives, so they scored high to go to that. So,
good.
So, very cool. So PFF. We do have 2 going to medic school. Deidre Alberry and Garrett Lucas are going to medic school, so that's a plus for us. So we get them on the street. Then we can hire 9 more and get them on the street. Then I can buy a tactical truck and a tiller and things like that. But no, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the annual report?
I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm beyond what paramedics can do, but no offense to them.
Is there any old business to attend to?
She hasn't done paramedicine in a long time.
Any new business not on the agenda? Any announcements?
Well, just to clarify a couple of things, you'll find in your packet the December and the January reports from Trust Indiana. As you recall, in January when we met, I think I got the notice just that day that the Timbers was ready for printing, and I didn't.
great.
And then, so this is January's as well. What you will not find in your packet as well is the monthly report I run of the fund balances and those types of things. We have not switched our 25s counting to 26, so until I get that done, we can't run those reports. Now that you've reviewed this report and approved it, that's my first goal tomorrow is to get that switch over. But that's all I have for the township board meeting itself. Just something for the Board of Finance, a couple of reports to submit to you. And
All right. Well, if that's all we have for this meeting, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, meeting's adjourned.
All right, meeting adjourned at 7:06, and I'll now call the meeting to order of the Decatur Township Board of Finance at 7:06. Adoption of the